Hello Laura.
Hello.
Hello everyone.
At the end of the
today
road, turn left.
we are off to
Wales.
Wales! Sheep! And we are going on a bit of exploring today. Laura's got me for a Christmas present this thing called Go Underground, which is basically it's like a big mining tunnel underneath Snowdonia, and you go in it and you're in a zip line, what is it, like parasailing,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, look, there's a picture, the sort of thing we're going to be doing. Zip lining, I don't know if you can see it in focus. Yeah, there you go. Zip line all to do across.
At the end of the road, turn left.
Some pictures. So yeah,
We're going to get soaked.
we're going to get absolutely soaked, but it's going to be absolutely epic.
Cross the roundabout. Second exit.
Yeah, we've changed the sat nav now to Ireland.
To Irish.
Her name's Kathy. So we've just stopped off for a quick
co-op.
quick break for a snack, and we've had a few we've had the local sausage roll, haven't we?
Yeah.
The Welsh local sausage roll, absolutely beautiful, and we've had a chicken stuffing sandwich, and we've still got our Oasis, and we had a shortbread millionaire, absolutely beaut, and now we are off. Still got 29 miles, 40 minutes, heading through Wales. So
It's really nice around here.
it is, isn't it? Lots to see, lots to do.
Hey look at
Hey,
these
look.
motorbikes.
We've just seen these motorbikes pass us. There are about, God knows how many people.
Look at them all.
There's loads of them. It's probably about 30 plus, I would say.
Look, see them. They're all filling up.
Look, they're all filling up. Every single one of them. Whoa. Whoa, good. Look, they're all there and all. Bleeding hell, there's loads of them. Anyway. We are.
Banger.
Bit of banger. Oh, all the mountains.
It's very hilly.
Tell ya, we've had some great shots of mountains this week. Do you think you'll ever go on towers again?
Yeah, but not on that ride.
No, neither do I.
Brilliant.
What if someone paid you money to go on it?
Depends how much.
A tenner?
No.
20?
Like thousands.
Thousands to go on a ride?
Yeah? That
Oh.
ride?
Owen Towers only paid out 200,000 for that girl who had a leg cut off. What makes you think they're going to pay you thousands to go on their ride?
Well, I'm just saying if they did. Well, look at this pool. It's well nice. But the people that live here don't even think twice about all this.
But it's like Iceland, isn't it? When we were in Iceland and we got the Northern Lights, they probably think, oh yeah, Northern Lights sound sweet, I'm off to work. They probably don't even think twice about it. It's like us when we get down to London. Oh yeah, it's cool because we don't go there every day. But once you're grown up, no, it's just like one of them things where if you've been brought up in that country, and even if you've been to the capital a couple of times, because you live there, it's nowhere near as cool as say going into another city in another part of the world. Here we are now, we've got 19 miles left to go. Hello.
Hello.
We'll sit it up. How do I look?
No, nice
the wellies. You're setting your wellies, aren't you?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
It's all the scenery, and here's the trucks that we're going in. And there's Go Below Adventures. Oh. It's nice blue skies.
Same going underground, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not often good stuff.
Oh, you definitely love the part, Laura.
That was when I was going to Hello.
Hello.
Can't see you, this is Hello.
You excited?
Yeah.
You Laura?
Are you based around here?
Yeah, I live in Bedfordshire.
Oh, yeah.
Laura, how you doing?
Slate, which is what these quarries are all about. Slate is a material that was formed about 300 million years ago. Between 3 and 350 million years ago. And the reason we know that is because we don't find any fossils in it. 300 million years ago, planet Earth was just a volcanic mess. But in between all that mesh, there was mud. And this is what has caused these slate. Okay, it's basically mudstone or clay. It's got a bit of sand mixed with it, but it's also got a good help in what we call shellstone. And shellstone is what gives it its bluey grey colour. What's happened to this mud is it's gathered into big pools as big as a sea. Right? And then what's happened then is the volcanic material has landed on top of it. So you can imagine hot volcanic rock, right, spewing out and landing on top of a big pool of mud. Alright, and it's done two things. It's squashed it down flat, compressed it down really, really solid, but the heat of the volcanic material has also dried it out. So it's what we call a metamorphic rock because it's changed its state from a semi-liquid form into a solid. But more importantly, it's also a sedimentary rock because it's been laid down flat in the first place. Now because it's been laid down flat, alright, when it comes to breaking it, it will always break, alright, on its horizontal plane. So if you get a piece of slate and you hit it, this bit's not going to do it now, because, right, if you get a good quality piece of slate, you can split it down into sheets that are really, really thin, right, sheets that are probably about as thin as that. Once you've got a sheet like that, you can then cut that down into a nice rectangle and make a roof tile out of it. Okay, and that's what this is all about basically. It's about quarrying slate to make roof tiles. Now when you get a block of slate and you come to split it, alright, it doesn't split very easily. Alright, so as you can see, alright, so if you split it and it starts to split nice and clean, that's great. Alright, but quite often you'll pick up the first block, try and split it and it won't split very clean, in which case it's no good. In which case you just move on to the next block. And you might go through 2 or 3 blocks before you find one that splits nice and clean. Because of that, you get an awful lot of waste, together with all the bits that you cut off to make rectangles. For every tonne of slate that's used for roof tiles, there's 9 tonnes of waste. And the waste is what you see literally just sitting on the side of the mountain here, and you see more of it up at the top. Alright, but the ironic thing is that all the billions of pieces of slate that are sitting here, every single bit of it at some point has been touched by human hand. Okay, so these days, slate is not used so much for making roof tiles. It is still used, but the slate we use in this country, alright, tends to come from India and China because it's a lot cheaper to produce out there. It's really bad quality, but it's a lot cheaper to produce. But the slate here is bought by the Germans, and the Germans grind it down, and they grind it down into a powder, and that powder has got the same properties, alright, as chalk. Alright. Now chalk used to be used in a lot of things, alright, but these days it's become quite an expensive commodity. So what they do is they grind the slate powder down, alright, and use that in place of chalk. So you'll find this in cosmetics, so lipstick, mascara, foundation, most cosmetics have got this slate dust in it to bulk it out. Alright, obviously it's got lots of gels and colourings with it to make it a bit more palatable, alright, but pretty much everything's got slate dust in it. Alright, but the biggest user is toothpaste. Okay, some of the cheaper brands use anything up to 40% slate dust in their toothpaste. Alright, and it's a bulking agent. That's what makes it that goo rather than something that's really runny. Yeah, and so what they do is they wash it, they bleach it, and then it ends up in toothpaste. So tonight, when you clean your teeth, just think you're putting chalk dust in your mouth, slate dust in your mouth. Alright, not such a bad thing when you think about it, because, right, first of all, alright, it's mud or powdered mud, alright, and we all know that mud's good for our skin, alright, so the cosmetics, that's great, alright, And the Victorians used to use chalk, all right, to actually clean their teeth. They get a bit of chalk on their finger, and that's what they'd actually clean their teeth with. Okay, so it's no different to that. It's the same properties, the same makeup. Okay, good. So we're going to go, and the reason I'm pointing this out is because the mine that we're going to go in is exactly the same. It's got an incline like this that runs right up through the middle. But instead of having open levels, which is what we've got here, every 50 or 60 foot on the incline, there are passages that go off that incline, and then off of those passages there's more passages, and then in all the passages there's big caverns, all right, where they've blasted out the slate. Okay, so underneath the woodland here, which is about 1/4 mile square, which is where we're going to go, underneath there are 5 miles of passages, all right, and just over 30 caverns. All right, so the inside of this mountain is pretty much hollow, really. Okay, and that's where we're going. Okay, it's called rhubarb.
No, it's all quite like you know?
We are going into the mine. Oh, going through the mine. Oh, yeah.
So it picks up that calcium, it then seeps through the slate rock, which is very, very porous, and it gets to this point where it drips off. And as it drips off, because it's dripping so slowly, the calcium starts to settle out and stick to the rock itself. And then in turn it sticks to itself, and it builds up into these little teardrops or little stalactites. Even though they're only little, they've taken 100 years to form, so we don't want to be knocking them off or picking them off, please. Other things you get along, when you get an angled rock like this, the water runs down it again really, really slowly, and you get these screens forming, so you get these screens of calcium. And then on the side walls, right, where the water runs down really, really slow, you get these calcium deposits on the side walls as well. Right, and these are called snot formations or snotites, right, because that's what they look like. Right, and then we've got iron oxide tainting the water here, so it's turning the calcium this browny orangey colour, which of course is the rust from the oxide. And then we've got some zinc in the water here, which is interacting with the calcium and turning it black. So you get to do a few subtle shades in the calcium as well. You see quite a few of it, quite a bit of this for the next 20 metres or so before the mine starts to get a little bit drier. And as the first job in your mine, when you come to work in here at the age of 8, would be as a rubbler. The rubbler's picked up all the stones and the rocks that are on the floor to keep it reasonably tidy. By the age of about 10, you progress to pushing these carts along. And you probably have half a dozen lads pushing one of these carts along with anything up to 1/4 ton of slate chained onto the top of it. And once, by the age of about 13, they'd actually been working alongside their fathers, their older brothers and uncles, actually in the caverns. Okay, so while you as a rubbler and while you as a labourer pushing this truck, you'd be watching the others, and that's how you actually learn the skills. Got two distinct sets of people in here. We've got the miners. The miners were employed by the people who owned the mine, and their job was to actually put in the infrastructure, dig out these passages, the service passages, put in the tramway and that sort of thing. And then you've got the quarrymen. The quarrymen were the majority, and they worked in big family groups, and they actually worked for themselves. And I'll explain a little bit about that later on. Okay, but they worked in family units, so you'd have like fathers with their sons and their uncles and brothers, etc., all work alongside one another in gangs of probably between 10 and 15 men. It wasn't uncommon for miners and quarrymen's families to have like 10 or 12 kids, because the more children you had, the more likelihood is that you were going to get a boy, and the more boys you had, the more income you had coming in. Yeah? There was no NHS in those days, there was no compulsory education, and there was no social system. So if you couldn't work or anything, then it was down to everyone else to look after you. So it was in your best interest to have as many lads working underground as possible. Yeah. So, right, we're going just a little bit further. Between the two levels, and then we've got another cavern below. Now the difference between the two levels is again another 30 foot. Right, and then another 30-foot cavern underneath. So if you fell out of the boat in the water here, all right, you literally go straight down 60 foot.
Go down.
You just go through to the next.
How's that? Like it?
But there's several boots, just single boots or single shoes just left behind in various cabins. And the idea is supposed to bring good luck. But the other thing is it might take them anything up to 18 months to work a big cabin like this. All right, and when they finish working it, it's quite customary for them to actually write the date on the back of the back wall of when they actually finish working it. And the guy who actually wrote this was ADJ, and you see that it was actually finished in 1913. Yeah. So, in a way, this is actually quite a good memorial because this guy probably went off to fight in the First World War the year afterwards and probably got killed. So in a way, it's quite a nice memorial to him. So what we're going to do now is we're going to carry on along for past another couple of cabins, and then we're going to do a little bit of climbing.
A bit of climbing though?
Yeah.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so, because you haven't got a choice. Oh shit, I've just hit my head.
We're going to climb up this head wall here, and there's a rope on the right hand side, black rope. Make sure you clip into that, and as soon as you can reach the non-ankle transfer. There's a few places where the rope has got a rubber piping over the top of it. That's just to protect it from the edges, the sharp edges. So just clip into it exactly the same as you would the rope normally. We're going to climb up here. There's loads of places to put your feet, not many places to put your hands. So you can use this rope to pull on if you like. The rope is tested to do 2.5 tons, so it's not going anywhere. And we're going to climb up here. When we get to the top, we go through a big window. When we go through that window, we turn right, we stay clipped onto the rope, and we can climb all the way along to the cabin, at the end of the cabin on the other side, where I will then lower you down onto the ground. Now, if you get up to that window,
How you feeling then, Laura? It's going to be very high.
Take apart a little bit. That's it, super.
Oh, what's the logo? Is that a bakewell tart? My precious. My precious. Imagine if I came out like Gollum. Hello.
No. No. Isn't it?
Yes. You enjoying it?
Yeah.
It's really good, isn't it? Yeah, it's well good.
Backpack, well, goodies in it.
Look, we found this 100-year-old backpack from Victorian times. That's what we found, didn't we?
It's in very good condition.
Very good condition.
Goodies in it.
Almost looks like it wasn't bought long ago, but you'd be wrong. Touch it and it will break like tissue paper.
Oh no. Watch your head, Paulie.
Yeah. down a little bit.
Oh, it's very close to our heads. Oh, there goes Ned. Oh, you're very close.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's recording, but this is what you can see. If you can see it, definitely looks.
We think our camera's broke.
It's very broken. You can't even see our faces on the screen. I dropped it. So we're gonna put this in a blow of ice and try and repair this if we can. Yeah, a bit good. So we can't film the rest of it, but this is the view, looking out and all that. So, oh look, got a little bit of colour. We're definitely recording something. We've got like some sort of weird thing. Like that.
It's not a record board, maybe it's just a screen looking funny.
Maybe it's warming up. So it's slowly coming back into focus. Like, look, you can see the seconds now. Seconds are back.
Oh, maybe it is recording it. Still works, maybe it's the screen that's broke.
It's definitely fucked.
What?
It's definitely fucked. Oh, wait a minute. It's a bit more clearer.
Yeah, let me.
Look, it keeps flashing off.
Oh, it's just when you record it goes weird.
Be careful.
But it is recording.
Is it clear?
No.
Is it any more focus?
Huh?
Is it any more focus?
No. But we never know, it might come out. Hello, North, there's a camera that is broken. We can't see you. Can we?
No. Can't believe it. Oh well, we'll have to just try it out, see if we can get it working. Hopefully we can.
It is still recording, you know.
Let's see what we can put. Do you think the picture's coming out of it? Oh, we're back. Yeah, the camera's back. The camera will not die. Its fighting spirit for recording beds lives on.
Yeah, I can see it now.
We're just on our way back from our go underground adventure. It's been well good, hasn't it, Laura?
Yeah.
Thanks for the Christmas present.
Yeah, it was for Paulie's Christmas present.
I dropped the camera
In the water.
in the water. You may have seen, well, in the footage, a little bit of blobbing about or whatever. Yeah, that was basically me being clumsy. I slipped on a rock and then I dropped it in. But we've been testing we couldn't really use it
For the rest of the
the experience. We tried to turn it on a couple of times. Camera was having none of it. It was flashing up and down. We literally could not get anything going until we got out of the mine. So we wanted to film a bit more.
I think we filmed most of it.
I think we got a good portion, to be honest. Nothing's cracked, nothing's broken. It didn't land on the memory card side, and luckily I took all the footage off from what we've done this week. And
I think it's just a bit of water inside.
a bit of water inside, yeah. So we're on about doing this again, but the more extreme adventure,
Yeah,
which is
extreme.
a more intense sort of adrenaline rush. But yeah, it was really good. I wish I could have got more, but when you know these things happen, when you drop a camera, you know, unless it's waterproof, this camera is not. We just literally, it might as well be because it's working fine now. So yeah, if you've ever got a Canon ISIS camera,
Canons are good.
Canon Canon are good. Like even our printers that we've had it for 10 years and it's only just stopped working. So they definitely hold their own. I would say Canon is definitely worth the money. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to turn the camera off now because it is literally, I can even hear it now. It's clicking and clicking, so God knows what it's doing. I don't think it's very happy right now. I think it wants to dry off. Because I think it's had a good bath today.
Yeah, an
So-
unexpected bath.
Yeah, so thanks for watching and we'll see you soon. Bye!